So that was a really nice falsetto there. There you just let it kind of go really, really light, not forcing it, just letting it go as light as possible.
Run, run, lost boy, they say to me.
Hey, yo. Let's go. Come back. Shamanic, money, money. Shamanic, money. Shamanic, money. Nico and Cow. Big house, big cars, and big rings. Plus, I should have known about the big dreams.
Alright, definitely very different than the last video that I critiqued of BTS. Singing totally different feel to it, but it's totally in definitely the rap hip-hop genre right now.
엄마 지금 독서실
내가 그 girl 네 모습이 뭐야 지금 내 거울 속에 누가 보여 I gotta say 너의 길을 가라고 난 하루를 살아도 뭐라도 하라고 나약함은 참아줘
Alright, so far it's not much for me to be able to critique vocally. They're using a little bit of a heavier sound. They're trying to come up with this more intense sound, a sound that's it's like deeper than naturally they would sing it. There's something definitely characteristic of rappers, you know, when they're using a little bit more of that bigger sound than their natural voice is in order to make it a little bit more interesting, a little bit more compelling to watch. Alright, now we got some melody. Wow. So I didn't even know that they were actually really good rappers. Like, they're moving really fast. Another thing that I'm finding interesting is that they're using a lot of very nasal type of resonance in order to kind of find that cut that cuts through the mix, and that seems to be kind of their tonality of the way. I mean, it gives them a little bit more character in the sound, and so they're using a lot of this type of sound in order to emphasize certain words as they're going through. Okay, so it sounds a little bit like there is autotune on the vocals. Not sure if they're doing real-time autotune or not, or if maybe it was fixed in post, or maybe it just sounds like that, but that's just kind of the sense that I'm getting right now, is that there's a little bit of autotune thrown onto their vocals.
Hey, 내 꿈은 수고했다 BTS money. BTS.
Yeah, yeah.
Just one day.
Why not?
하루만 내게 시간이 있다면 달콤한 이야기에 취해서 권이나 잠들고파 빡빡한 스케줄 사이에 기회가 있다면 따스하고 깊은 눈 안에 몸 담그고파 I like that 너의 그 길고 긴 생머리 올려먹을 때의 아찔한 목숨과 흘러내린 저머리 서로 같이 어딜 가든 내 핸드백은 네 허리 You're my honey 볼 때마다 숨이 막혀 명동거리처럼 우리의 BGM은 숨소리 내 이름을 불러줄 때의 네 목소리에 잠겨서 난 수영하고파 너를 좀 더
So his voice, I don't know their names unfortunately, but his voice is more laid back. It's not as forward, not as present as the other singers. It's more of a chill type of sound.
알고파 너란 BTS 붉게 피모만한 탐험가 너란 작품에 대해 감상을 해 너란 존재가 예술이니까 이렇게 매일 날 밤새도록 상상을 해 어차피 내게는 무의미한 꿈이니까
처음엔 너와 내가 함께 할 수 있다면 너와 내가
Okay, so there he's using a very chilled out, almost like mumbled type of tone. He's not projecting, he's not really going into a heavy mix. He's starting off like really, really light, and he's finding just kind of that balanced, very light place in his voice.
잡을 수 있다면 너와 내가 함께 할 수 있다면 너와 내가 함께 할 수 있다면
So that was a really nice falsetto there. There you just let it kind of go really, really light, not forcing it, just letting it go as light as possible to find that freedom up in his upper range.
너와 하루만 있기를 바래 바래
너와 단둘이 보내는 party
너와 하루만 있기를 바래 바래
너와 단둘이 보내는 party 그런
And so they're in the party part where they're singing with a little bit of a higher larynx, but it's totally fine because the way that they're approaching it is with an airy presentation, not a lot of pressure and not a lot of volume. There's no issue with going high larynx in under those circumstances. Where you run into trouble is if you try to take that sound with doing a higher volume presentation and trying to get a little bit louder and more intense with the sound.
수 있다면 얼마나 좋을까 아무 데 나가서 밥 먹고 영화 한 편만 볼 수만 있다면 나라네 정말 뭔 짓이라도 할 텐데 girl I'm sorry 내 머리가 너무 이성적인가 봐 그래도 언젠가 보면 웃어줘 조금은 아니 어쩌면 많이 나 원망하겠지 하라 내 꿈 때문에 널 더 바라보지 못해서 내게 하루만 줘 꿈속이라도 하루만 현실을 핑계대며 삼켜야 했던 그 수많은 말 중에서 딱 한마디만 제대로 할 수 있게 그래 나 발꽃이 필 때만 나 헤어지자고 지칠 때 쉽게 잊어질 거라 생각 안 했지만 너에게 난 그랬으면 좋겠다면 이게 죽일까 널 위해서라면 아직 난 거짓말하고 있어
Okay, so he has really good breath control. Breath control is where you're able to use the amount of breath that's in your lungs in a very measured way, that you're not kind of spilling out this air that you could potentially be reserving and using over a longer period of time. And so that is really when rappers or singers are doing lines like this where you have a really long line, you got to use your breath properly. So he's really using his breath properly when he's singing this part.
넌 내 한가운데 서 있어
그만 너와 내가 함께 할 수 있다면 너와 내가 손잡을 수 있다면 너와 내가 함께 할 수 있다면
Okay, so I don't love his tone of voice. It sounds a little bit like he's got a bit of a cold, and he's singing like kind of through his nose, like kind of like that. He's cutting off his nasal resonance. That's not allowing his voice to come out as freely as possible, and with as much kind of presence that could be there with the nasal resonance.
하고 있다면 let's go time 24 hours 너와 다른 동네 있다면 아침부터 이만춤해 빠질 수 없는 브런치도 한입해 손잡고 너와 햇빛에 몸 담그네 안 끝내 아름다운 밤중에 너에게 고백해 조명은 달로해 수많은 일들이 내게 말을 해 나로만 있으면 가능해
너와 내가 함께 할 수 있다면 너와 손잡을 수 있다면 너와 내가 함께 할 수 있다면 하루만 너와 내가 함께 할 수 있다면 너와 단둘이 보내는 party 너와 하루만 있기를 바래
Alright, so there we got a really nice high head voice sound. So that's where we're closing the vocal cords a little bit more. We're not going quite as airy as falsetto. So it's slightly different than the falsetto presentation.
너와 단둘이 보내는 party 너와 내가 함께 할 수 있다면 하루만 너와 내가 손잡을 수 있다면 하루만 너와 내가 함께 할 수 있다면 하루만 너와 내가 함께 할 수 있다면
Could you please stay with me?
Okay
Army.
자 우리 아미 여러분도 다 같이 Let's go
Nice, really nice intro. Very released falsetto there that sounded really, really beautiful.
Wanna be full, wanna be cool, wanna be loved 너와의 same love
너의 same love.
Baby I want it
야 올리는 모든 사진마다 좋아요 남바라는 처음 보는 전화 오자. 누구야? 아 맞다 나 이제 남자친구 아니지 자연스레 번호 눌렀잖아. 좋아나 손하자니 꼭 치는 것 같고 뭐라도 안 하면 나 신경도 안 쓸 것 같아. 싫어요 버스는 없는데 싫었던 30여 명 중 하나가 되는 게 여기도 좋다고 저기도 좋다고 한 번만 우자고 왜 그리 고냐고 네 어수비 이제는 거도 아닌데 왜 뺏기는 것 같은지 넌 now
And listen to the guy that's standing right now. When he's rapping, listen to his breaths. His breaths are not gasps of air. A lot of rappers will go in between their lines. And when you do that, you actually close up the throat and you actually suck the vocal cords together. It's not good for your voice. And he's not doing that at all when he's singing this.
좀 잘 사네 눈빛이 오니까 노는 것 좀 살살해 목까지 올라온 저 줄을 삼키고 오늘도 좋아요 오늘도 좋아 Let's go
맘이 되고 오히려 다쳐 I 보여 pretty woman Hey yeah 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 향기게도 여전히 난 좋아 보여 pretty woman
Pretty woman
Pretty woman Wanna be cool, wanna be loved 너와의 same love
너의 same love
I know it's a bird Don't wanna be full, wanna be cool, wanna be loved 너와의 same love
너의 same love
Alright, so definitely you can hear that some of them have worked a lot harder on their English accents than others. Some have really gotten it down where it's like you can really clearly hear the words that they're saying, whereas others, it's kind of harder to make out exactly what they're saying.
Baby I want
최근 너미늘은 좋아요로 보이는 네 얼굴은 훨씬 좋아 보여 새남친과 찍은 사진 속 덕분에 추억 속으로 나 backspace 그 세상은 어느새 나를 멈춰있는데 나 왜 여전히 그 시간에 걸쳐있는데 넌 내 생각을 할까 고민하면 좋아요를 누를까 말까 수십 번을 반복해 너의 마음은 마치 단두들 너처럼 나를 똑같아 없이 잘라냈지만 난 도깨비 같아 오래 다가가 너의 일상생활은 맨날 보내 그때마다 머릿속은 백발만해 Oh shit 내 생각은 할까 고민하면 좋아
너 땀이 되고 오히려 더 좋아 보여 pretty woman Pretty woman
열미 그도 여전히 좋아 보여 pretty woman
Oh pretty woman
Okay, and so that singer with the bigger, puffier jacket on, he was singing it with a much more breathy presentation than the other singers. The other singers are singing it with a lot more presence, and that was kind of his stylistic choice. Nothing wrong with it, but interesting to see.
Wanna be cool, wanna be loved 너와의 same love
너의 same love
I know it's over, yeah Don't wanna be full, wanna be cool, wanna be loved 너와의 same love
너의 same love
왜 생각나지 찾아온 건 한심한 나도 누르고 갈게 네 그 위에 난 요즘 너 없이 이렇게 지내
최고 오래라도 try 보여 pretty woman yeah 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 yeah
그래도 여전히 넌 좋아 보여 pretty woman pretty woman Wanna be cool, wanna be loved know why you sing love Who is so great Don't wanna be fool, wanna be cool, wanna be loved know why you sing love Baby I wanna
네
안녕 army
Awesome. That was awesome.
Yo Let's go Come back 샤머닉 굽은 머리